Well, week 7 was a thriller for ACC football. Saw a lot of highs, saw a couple lows, and all that in between. But either way it went, it was great for our football programs. We'll talk about all of that and just where we landed on the he said, she said, fan said.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Kenton, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Each and every day, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you download, subscribe to the pod on our YouTube page. We always love it when your fans talk to us because we certainly talk back. It has been a very interesting week for the ACC. A lot to go over here. We had really great games this past weekend, all conference play, and it was a lot of highs, a couple lows, and really exciting for me because for the first week ever, I beat both Kenton and the fans when it comes to he said, she said, fan said. So excited to talk through that today. You can see it's already, my energy is high because I haven't had a win in quite some time, if ever. Okay, so we're going to rock this party out. Kenton, how are you feeling?
I feel great. It's always great to see, great to see the little guy win, the underdog, if you will. It's always great to see that happen, right? Like when the U.S. beat the Soviets in the 1980s hockey game, you know what I mean? Like when we saw the undefeated Patriots lose to your New York Giants, that type of deal. You've seen some tough breaks some of these weeks in predictions, and this was your week. The wind shined upon you.
Don't play with Eli ever in your life. Second of all, it's only week 7, so I still have plenty of time to ultimately beat the group. I'm gonna lay that out here now.
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and go over the games and how the results were, but I'm still riding this very much high. So
you deserve it. You deserve it, Queen.
See, it's the antagonistic approach that will get you jacked up here on this show.
What do you want from me? What do you? I'm saying I'm congratulating.
All hail the Queen! Great job, Candace.
That's what I said.
Everyone tells me I'm not the football analyst of the group, so just give me all the flowers. I need all of it because this may never happen again.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? This week is an important week. Because this week is the week that may turn things around for Candace,
Come on, somebody.
It's been a rough start. Been a little bit of a tough go. But this could be the week. This could be the week,
Let me tell you how I kicked it off, though, okay? So this here Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State Seminoles decided they wanted to do a big one against Syracuse. Sorry to our forever orange girlfriend, because I don't know what you tried to tell your team to get together, and instead They said offense optional.
Yeah.
Defense, what? Tough go for Dino. I know he gave high praise to Keon Coleman, but I would have loved if, I don't know, your cornerbacks, safeties, somebody, secondary, did they not have a chance? That's what it felt like. There was just, you can't stop that. He's a Blitnikoff-esque, borderline Heisman. He's just having a season of his life.
That one-hand catch by Keon Coleman.
Mercy.
Keon.
Should have wrapped the game up. They should have wrapped the game up after that one.
Keon, these some of these young men were slow dancing at prom a couple months ago, Keon.
They have families.
They got family. They got mama was watching. Daddy was watching.
Yeah.
Keon, stop it.
They actually turned the channel after that one. I ain't gonna hold you.
Listen, if my son got did like that, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not saying I'll turn the channel. I get up and go get something to drink. That's the point where I can go to the bathroom.
100%. 100%.
But no, very seriously, Florida State is rolling. These are two teams trending in the opposite direction, of course. Florida State had some bumps in the road early where they kind of they struggled and looked human, and now they're looking like the big bad bully of the ACC. And Syracuse, each one of their last 3 losses has been by more and more points. First, they lost to Clemson by 17, then UNC by 33, then this week to Florida State by 38. And no, I did not try to make that rhyme. That's just how it worked out. This is tough, real tough.
It's tough because for me, let's start with Florida State. Great on them. Between Coleman, Bell, Williams, you have your offense really clicking. You have Jordan Travis making sure that, you put people's foot on their necks and you keep it on there. You have Philly getting busy. You have Benson getting busy. Like everyone has a hand. And of course, Jared Verse and company, they're always going to do Fabian Lovett. Like high praise, high praise. For Syracuse, it's troubling because it's deja vu. Like, we literally have been here before. Mind you, they got to 6-0 last time before it started trending, but now you're trending down faster. And the loss of Gadsden couldn't have been that great to where you can't find some help defensively.
I mean, yeah, Gadsden don't cover nobody, but talk about how big the loss was offensively. Yeah. If you think about what a player like him does for you, you need the table setter. You need that guy offensively that draws the defense's attention so that the other guys can then go make a play, because the leader of that group, the head of the snake is like, hey, you got to watch out for me. You got to dedicate some bodies to me. And now all of a sudden, when y'all are watching him, oh, he's just running the clear out route for this guy, and so on and so forth. And like I said, the key for Syracuse this year was going to be finding playmakers on offense outside of Aranda, and they haven't been able to. They just haven't been able to.
Not in the run game, not in the pass game. Garrett Schrader's trying to do all he can with his legs, but you get swallowed up in that backfield pretty quick when they sniff you out with such a powerful defense as Florida State. So tough loss for them. Like I said, they're going in the wrong direction. All the fans plus us picked FSU without question.
Yeah. Yeah. And also let's give Syracuse some love for their bright spot in LaQuint Allen. He showed up. He showed out. He had himself a ball game, but it was tough. It was tough.
Tough. I think finding the one bright spot and letting it be that as your next comment.
He did. He showed up. He rushed for over 100 yards, over 5 yards a carry. You can't ask for much more.
You can ask for more. You sure could. You could have asked for at least.
Stop it.
Okay. All right.
Stop it.
Let's talk about the next matchup here, Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. Now, Wake Forest program who, of course, has struggled offensively. And I know you at the end of the day, we've been trying to figure out just when and where it was going to click for the Hokies. Well, welcome to the party. Welcome to some offensive, powerhouse in terms of just getting 30 points from the board. We love to see it.
I think this game is so interesting because, it seems so perplexing that am I incorrect here in saying Mitch Griffiths was benched and then the main guy gets hurt? What are they going to do going forward? Well, what happens for Wake Forest as far as this goes to where they finally find the offensive key is, all right, we need to go away from Mitch. And now it's like, LOL, JK, we're back.
Stern said, can't do it.
We're back. It's a really unfortunate situation. But with that being said, can we talk about Virginia Tech? We talk about turning that thing around.
Let's give praise because we found our quarterback.
Yeah, you got your QB1.
Kyron, let's get it together. Okay. And now you're not, who was Ollie Jennings, who you were very high on throughout the season? You got some new players in the conversation, right?
Yeah,
you got Lane, you got Gosnell, you got Tootin was toting once again, right? We think we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and I've been high on Tootin from day one. That's a guy. Him and Ali Jennings were the two guys I looked at as like the playmakers to watch out for this team if they were going to do something decent. Like if there was anything that was going to happen for this team, those are the two that I was looking at saying, hey, they're going to have to carry the water for you. And at the end of the day, those two being good has helped Kyron Jones at the end of the day. It truly has. So.
Now, Tootin's name I ain't ever heard you call, but I'm going to let you have that one.
Wow. Here we go.
Have that one.
So let me say this. I will not lie and say, oh, he's the guy. The running game, did I not say that they were going to have to establish some type of running game this year in order for me?
You very much did.
Okay. All right. I knew that whoever they played.
One thing about you going to run that tape back. So I give you your props.
Whoever the fans been running the tape back on me. They've been running back that NC State had the top defense in it. And I'm sorry. I meant they had the top defense in terms of sacks, which they did, which I talked about the quarterback before that and after that, but we'll get to that a little later. Anywho, the reality is very simple. This Virginia Tech team is figuring things out. They're figuring out how to win. The defense is playing Virginia Tech defense. Shane is down there like, wait, how they get Beaver ball back before me? That was my daddy. That was my pappy. How they get Beaver ball? But I don't get no Beaver ball down here in South Carolina.
Well, we got to give ourselves a hand clap of praise because we picked Virginia Tech. Baby, yeah. I'm never going against Lane Stadium on a Saturday. I'm telling you now. And the fans pick Wake Forest. See, I know they have buyer's remorse. And that gives y'all's first L of the day. First L, right? Hear me? Because there's more coming. All right, let's talk about the Louisville game. Because, help the church, Lord. But first, Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total upfront so you know what you're getting, a great deal without hidden fees. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, that's LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, for $20 off. Download Gametime today for last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We also want to talk about our friends here at PrizePicks. Make sure that you are getting your PrizePicks. Offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. PrizePicks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits to your account this football season. With PrizePicks reboot policy, your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For NFL games and college football top 25 matchups, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege. Use code LockedOnCollege for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege. Using code LockedOnCollege for a first deposit match up to $100. Kenton, I can't believe we have to do this, but here we go. Louisville. That's why you know what? This reminds me of UNC, right? I hate to make it whatever the analogy, but when you're really good, you're feeling yourself, head up high, shoulders back, and you're just not used to that sort of claim to fame, the prowess of being the top dog, the best of the best, the number one spot, the power rankings. You're trending upward. You have all the things going for you. Nobody can mess with you. You're undefeated. You're riding you beat Notre Dame, a top 10 program. Nobody can tell you nothing walking around campus. Shoulders back, all the things. You definitely squatted the bed. You were not prepared because you felt like this was a gimme. And Pitt said, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought we were finished. And Peninsula Pete, I'm glad you're here because he told y'all Pitt is about to make a run. I don't know about a run, but they sure did a little two-step.
Listen, it don't matter if they do a run or a walk or a brisk jog. They did their big one on this one. That's all you can ask for. Like, at the end of the day, this is a Pitt team that we all looked at and said, man, they're done. They're toast. Stick a fork in them. They look horrible. Again, they were a team that every loss was bigger than the last. Every single one, back to back to back. And then what do? They go out there and beat this team. And not only do they beat this team, Candace, let me give you a fun fact about this game.
Sure.
Pitt all year against FBS teams had not one time exceeded 25 points, and they dropped 38.
Amazing. But let me ask you this.
38 on them boys.
Now, let me ask you this, because we've been really high on Louisville's defense, right? We've been pretty sound about halfway decent, just enough offense. Did Pitt win this game, or did Louisville lose this game?
Now, I hate to do this.
Come on.
I hate to do this. I'm lying. I enjoy doing this. I told y'all about Jack Plummer, didn't I? I told y'all he ain't his daddy. Obviously, I was joking. I know that Jake Plummer ain't his daddy, but I told y'all that I warned y'all all year about Jack Plummer, and I was called a hater. I said that I just hate Louisville. Fun fact, and you can ask him about this. Me and Ashton Gelati spoke at ACC Media Days. Just me and him one-on-one, chopping it up, talking shop, talking D-line. And I told him I've always loved Louisville, man. The city reminds me of home. Louisville reminds me a lot of Detroit. Always enjoy going there. The city has a lot of character. It's a beautiful city. blue-collar, hardworking folks. With that being said, I knew all along you got to get Jack on board. Jack is the key. And he's your hero and your heroine, as they say, right? He could be the best thing in the world for you. He could give you the win. He could give you everything you need, or he can destroy you that quick. And that's what happened in this game. I mean, with
the top 15 program, you can't afford a sometimes quarterback.
Yeah.
At one position, you cannot afford. You can afford sometimes your secondary falling flat. You can afford sometimes your O-line maybe losing some trenches in the battlefield, but you cannot have a bad quarterback.
I disagree. I think if you're going to be a top 10 team, you got to be solid all the way around. Where Louisville was, you got to be solid all the way around.
If you ever agree with me after I make a point, I promise you I'm going to play the numbers. I promise you I'm going to play the numbers.
You won this week. You should go play the numbers anyway.
I honestly should. And
go ahead.
And I might. And when I hit the billion, I promise you it's going to be locked on. But all I'm saying is you can't be sometimes at the quarterback position.
No, I do agree, though. I mean, these are 18 to 22-year-olds, but I do agree. The quarterback is the most important position in football. So I'll say this. I think that at every position, you need to be solid enough to where if this guy is having a bad game, everybody else rallies around him and picks him up, regardless of position, right? Like you were talking about with the secondary is having a bad game. The D-line got to eat. Y'all got to get home quick because the secondary is struggling a little bit. If your D-line is struggling, your offense needs to be amazing. If your offense is struggling, your defense needs to show up big time. Complementary football is the name of the game. And in this game, it just wasn't there at any level.
Yeah.
Their
I just feel like they never got excited. Yeah.
Exactly. And the biggest thing that was a little bit surprising to me was not so much, they lost and they're struggling and so on and so forth. It was the fact that Pitt, even in this win, still it's a classic Pitt football win. And that you don't look at anybody on their offense and say, you just blew it out the water.
Sure.
You're looking at the defense and the special teams. You're looking at Devonshire, who always seems to come through in the clutch. Now, I promise you, anytime you see somebody in Pitt running the other way with the ball in a moment where they really need it, it's probably MJ Devonshire. Yeah. And here he was, Johnny on the spot again. So you're looking at this situation and, it's nothing to say but Louisville, your season is still ahead of you. All of the things that you wanted still in front of you. Everything is still right there in front of you in terms of one conference loss being bad, but you still have an opportunity to play multiple teams that are going to be either in that conversation or, you went out. Who knows what these other teams ahead of you would do?
Well, I also think that, the name, yes, people hold L's, but at the same time, I think for Pitt, you're a spoiler now. Your season might not be going how you want it to go, but damn it, if you can't spoil some seasons, you can absolutely hurt a lot of feelings as you go through the rest of this bad boy. And I think that's something to hang your hat on, brick by brick, game by game. You got to remind, that was the reminder game of Pitt ain't no chumps. And I appreciate that for them.
I'm going to tell you this. Pitt's season is very much so still in play when you look at their schedule. Next game, a Wake Forest team that's limping in. The game after that, you got a Notre Dame team who coming off. We've seen a lot of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out of that team, but we could even pencil that one in as an L. These are their remaining games after they got Notre Dame and Florida State left. So that's two more that you like, all right, yeah, go ahead and pack that up, right? After that, Syracuse, BC, and Duke to close the season out. So,
well, hold on now. You said Florida State?
Stop playing.
That could be a spoiler.
Stop playing. Okay, so let's just say they spoil one of these games, right? Let's just say they spoil either a Notre Dame, or Florida State, or Duke. If they spoil one of those, now they're in the bowl game. Now they're in the bowl game, and they got wins over multiple top 15 teams at that point.
Let's go.
I'm just saying.
Pat Narduzzi is the type, okay? And we all picked Louisville. We all took our L, and we'll just keep the thing rolling. Now, let's get to the fun part, people. My favorite game of the week, of course, it had to be the Tar Heels. But first, let's talk about Athletic Brewing Company. Now, we want to make sure you know that Athletic Brewing has completely changed the game for non-alcoholic beer. They make non-alcoholic beers that actually taste good. The brews are great tasting and award-winning and beat out full-strength beers in global competitions. They're fit for all time, so you can drink them anytime, anywhere, and make any activity more enjoyable. Watching a big game, enjoy with your kids. No hangover ever. Make sure you check out Athletic Brewing Company's non-alcoholic brews at a store near you or buy online at athleticbrewing.com. First-time customers can use code LOCKEDON to get 15% off your first online order. Near beer exclusions and conditions apply. Athletic Brewing Company, fit for all times. Kenton, game of the week. Only because 10 years ago, you had Zero Dark Thursday, Miami and North Carolina. Mm-hmm. North Carolina was having a great season. You play at night, you do all the bells and whistles, you do all the Zero Dark BS, and they lay an egg. Yeah. Now you got the same North Carolina team who this is a different program, different energy. And for once, I can finally say, okay, we're doing the big one here. We understand the assignment. We're not looking past anybody. We're not looking ahead. We're in the present moment. And thank God the NCAA got its senses together and brought back Tez Walker 1, 2, 3 touchdowns. Feel me? Okay. And me and the fans were on the North Carolina vibe. You had to catch up a little bit. You're still not a believer, but I would hope after this conversation we have made you a believer.
I hate to do this again, but Mario let one loss turn to 2 losses, and 2 losses is about to turn into 3.
Ooh-wee. You think so?
Yeah. And Lord forbid, you let that turn into 3 losses, you might mess around and get a 4th. With that being said, this game, you've got to give Tez Walker his credit. Now you see why the governor and the AG were writing letters. Now you see. Now it makes sense.
They did the big one to get our.
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. All I'm saying is, from now on, fans. I mean, people like to vote by party lines. All I'm saying is, look at your representatives, look at your governors and whatnot. See who their alma mater is, because. That's important these days. You can get a player eligible, but that's neither here nor there. The reality is Tez Walker dominated this game. He dominated. That he didn't play well. He absolutely dominated. He and Drake May have a connection that looks like they've been playing together for years,
absolutely,
which is insane. And with that being said, you look at those two and you say, oh, well, they're throwing the ball so well. They probably are struggling on the ground. Struggling where? Backs.
Hello.
Finding every hole that there was to find.
Come on.
And let me tell you something. I thought very highly of this Miami defense, especially the front. And then you get Cam Kitchens back. And I'm like, hey, Cam is the best player probably on that team, period. And yet, and still, UNC said, oh, you think your defense is pretty good? Okay, we'll run the ball when we want. We'll throw the ball when we want. We'll ice the game when we want. And y'all will do nothing but sit there and take it. And that's what happened.
Now, I tell you, North Carolina did try to give that thing away towards the end. And I said, no.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, wouldn't y'all want to piss down your leg when we really just trying to close this thing out? But I think we have to be one of those programs that goes up just enough because we still have a defense with some holes that we're not quite there. We're not 5 stars where we're just unloading and all the things. But kudos to them for not squatting the bed or making it close enough to where we do have the threat of overtime or things like that. I think that speaks to the progress of the program, something that we can hang our hats on. But as Mac Brown said, this is also a week where I've seen a Virginia team who's very much winning 2 games during Halloween, squat the bed do well against a North Carolina team who ends up squatting the bed. So I am not too high right now. I'm riding the tide.
I got a question for you now. For you, okay? Did you watch the Oregon-Washington game?
I did. I did.
Now, many people are saying, if Mario is still at Oregon, how different is the world right now? Is Bo Nix the Heisman frontrunner? Is Oregon undefeated?
I'm not sure.
That's a very interesting thought.
Because is Tyler Van Dyke on his way to Heisman conversations? No. Because can he develop quarterbacks? I'm not sure.
I mean, he got Justin Herbert under his belt, right? Justin Herbert is okay.
I think the Chargers are losing right now as we're recording this live show.
But I don't do that.
Right.
Don't do. Right. See, you're gonna make me defend a quarterback on there. That's I'll let you win this week, but for you to torture me like that's just nasty. That's just some nasty work.
I'm just saying, you picked Miami. We just need to hold that L. So
hey, listen, I'll take my L.
You thought Miami was gonna bounce back?
I was wrong. I thought that Miami was gonna say, you know what? Because here's the thing. Mario knows how close he is to losing that locker room. Or not, let me not say losing that locker room.
Because you know how they get when you say that, please
don't. How close he is to Miami fans are not patient people. Let's just be very realistic about that. No fans are really patient, but Miami really, because Miami has seen championships. There is not a single age of Miami fan that like hasn't seen the championship except like toddlers, maybe. That's about it. Toddlers and teenagers. That's it.
20 people in their 20s, huh?
If you're in your 20s, you saw Miami win a championship. Their last one was what, 2002? Right? So
were these kids born in 2005?
If you were born in 2005, 2008, you're not 20. You're not 20. So if you're a teenager, you haven't seen them. The point is, Miami fans by and large have seen championships. Like they have seen like Ray Lewis was walking through that door. Ed Reed was walking through that door. Willis McGahee, the great Sean Taylor, God rest his soul, was walking through that door. And now it's like, you know, I understand why they're not playing. Because again, some schools, a 10-win season and a New Year's Six bowl game, they'll build you a statue. At a lot of schools in the ACC.
Absolutely.
A lot of schools.
Miami
ain't one of them. No.
All right, let's end here. We don't have a lot of time, Kenton, so I know you want to make this short and sweet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't take a lot of time to.
No, I know, but you gotta let it out because you gave a little homer energy this past week by picking NC State, and the fans and I felt like Duke was going to get this one, and they got the big one, even without Riley Leonard.
So let me say this: NC State offensively was so inept, so thoroughly outcoached, so underprepared that you have to tip your cap to Duke and say, man, what a great game. What a great game defensively. What a great game. And I would say it was a combination of both. It was a combination of Duke dominance on defense because they're one of the top scoring defenses in the nation. But also, you can't tell me, hey, Duke is out there making guys drop passes that are wide open. You can't tell me that you know Duke is making MJ throw absolute cookies to outside linebackers that are clearly in the passing window. But with that being said, you know, again, this is a game that thankfully for NC State is coming right before their bye week, so they can go ahead and strip that offense down to the studs this week. But you know, Duke, way to go. And hopefully they get Riley Leonard back. Hopefully he looks good too, because they're gonna need. You're not gonna beat Florida State with like a meh Riley Leonard. I'm not saying he got to go legend. He's got to be good. He's
still day to day, so who even knows if he's playing? But either way that goes, I feel like Duke, credit to them for again not buying into the sophomore slump, right? Yeah. Being able to beat a in-state rival. And I think if anything, we start to look at Doran a little bit because you're saying Elko was able to make some drastic changes with a very blah program in 2 years.
I agree.
Mac Brown's return has been about 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Doran been at NC State for how long now?
This is year 11, 10 or 11, something like that.
I think after a while, people are going to start saying when it starts to be in your own backyard, everyone's spiraling, trending upward. That's what I was trying to do with that hand motion. We're looking at you, sir. What's going on?
As they should. If you're not asking, here's my thing about Doran. And many people feel like, oh, you've got to love him for forever because he was your head coach. I don't do fluff pieces or hit pieces. I tell you like it is. And here's what I'm going to tell you about this program right now. This loss was as embarrassing as they come. And not embarrassing because, Duke is a terrible team and you should have been. No, Duke is a very, very good team. Very good team. This is an embarrassing loss because your team showed up unprepared. They showed up. They didn't look like they were interested in winning. You're down 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, and you're just taking your sweet time. Fourth quarter, Now you're down 3 touchdowns. You get a first down, you get 2 first downs, and y'all are just kind of walking up to the line. If you got a young quarterback, the best thing you can do is go hurry up, because defenses can't call their most complicated stuff in that moment. They can't. They've got to go with their base, whatever they do, and that's what you've studied. That's what you practiced all week. Now, yeah, teams still have some blitzes and certain things, but this is real vanilla stuff. You can't get truly, out there if you're going hurry up. And yet, not one time did NC State go hurry up. Not one time.
And you would think for a program that was so excited for this in-state rivalry matchup to happen, you would have come with your best, right? Yeah. You would think that would have been listen, we've been waiting for this moment. We've been waiting to show recruits why, you should come here instead of going down the street. That was the moment for you to shine. And it sort of really was a missed opportunity.
But this is why I say, yeah, I hate UNC and all that, but I show up and prepare for every game the same way.
Sure.
That's just who I was as a player, and my limitations were because I was physically limited. It was never Ken doesn't want to do this, he doesn't want to show up, he don't. And to see what this team, and also it's not just on the players, because Tony Gibson, for all that you are, and the fact that people were considering you for the Browse Award, your defense still can't handle an unbalanced line. Why? Notre Dame scored on you in week 2, 80-yarder with an unbalanced line. We see an unbalanced line against Duke, and they get an 83-yarder. It felt like an ugly version of deja vu, because I'm seeing an unbalanced line and all of our defenders looking at the back of number 7's helmet like they're good barbers. Oh, my God, what is happening?
And if you want to hear more of that, check out the Locked on Wolfpack podcast. Where he'll give a little breakdown and all the things.
Oh, we actually are doing the film breakdown today. But the reality is very simple. Duke, again, they outplayed NC State. They outclassed NC State. They outcoached NC State. And that's all there is to it.
Now, we can't leave without showing the graphic, because we need to have the update for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the graphic, as y'all can see here, Candace is catching up to us now. Candace is catching up. However, the fans are in the lead, a very slim lead. This week they went 3-2. Candace went 4-1. I went 2-3. That leaves us overall at fans 52-14. Myself at 51-15, and the first lady of Locked On, Candace Cooper, at 47-19. So,
see, had you had a little belief in number 9 right there, maybe you would be tied. But see, you know what? Sometimes the bias get to you.
I've never believed in anything that the U.S. government does, and because they were so active in getting him back, I just struggled to believe in that, and so that's kind of where I stood there. But hey, you know what they say. When it's time to drop a bomb, our government is definitely gonna get it done. And Tez Walker caught him a couple bombs, so
help the church, saints. And on that note, we're up and out of here. Make sure you download the podcast from anywhere you listen. Make sure you leave all these nice positive comments to us. Talk to us about how you feel about the outcomes of week 7 games, and get ready for the power rankings tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be real spicy. Louisville, don't even worry about it, because you're not number 1. I can tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. That leaves a little meat on the bone, whatever you want to call it. I tell you that right now. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.